Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another video. This is Dash All Rose. Welcome back to another video. Boy, has it been a long week for me. Technically, we're on a brand new week here. It's actually it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's actually Tuesday now as recording this. I don't know when I'll get these videos uploaded, because I'm gonna make a couple of them, but I'm starting to kind of feel a bit, not so well. I'm hoping I'm not getting sick, and God, I hope it ain't COVID, because, because when you have COVID, you tend to, be sick a little bit longer than just a day, um, but, yeah, I'm starting to kind of feel like I've been feeling like this for the last couple of days, but it could be because I've been working my butt off. I've been kind of cleaning my little sister's room and all that, and I've been dealing with a lot of stuff there. And we just had a cat show up at our, I guess, in our yard, and I guess we're keeping this cat now, which I figured we were going to, even though we probably shouldn't because my mom's got very bad allergies. Well, they're not like super severe, but they're not great, So, yeah, it's been kind of a crazy week, and I'm kind of exhausted too. So, I should probably be going to bed, but I'm making these videos just in case. But, this one I actually want to make because, I actually wanted to make this one for a little bit. And that goes for the next video, too, I'll be talking about. Now this one is apparently, Google, as you guys know, Google is a very, big, very massive, company. A very massive company, and has been having some issues with people for a little bit now, which I'll probably get into more of that in a second. But I guess before I do that, I should probably also say, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, make sure you guys are still notified, because, Google and YouTube, which is, owned by Google, has been having some problems with that, and I've been hearing, haven't been hearing as many complaints lately, but I've been hearing them in the past, So, make sure you guys are still subscribed. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Threads, because, as I stated, Instagram and Threads are basically the same thing, but you have to have Threads, or at least I have to have Threads to be able to see the post, which is stupid. But also, you guys can follow me on X, which I'm still trying to figure out, what's going on there, because I haven't really seen any, any posts there. I don't know if I have to, I'm gonna work on figuring that out when I get things straightened out, but, yeah, social media in general has just been kind of a freaking mess. It's been a mess, it's just been between, freaking political crap, and then, just watching mostly political crap, but also censorship and all that, and I'm just you know what, I don't really want to be moving around all over the place. I kind of want to just play around and see what's going on, So, but we're going to be talking about mainly Google in this video, because, there's been some unfortunate news with Google. However, this may or may not be good for us, but also could be bad for, us at the same time. So you guys, I don't know if you guys have, many of you guys have known this, but they're actually, they have gotten in trouble with the law because of, they are basically a monopoly and have gotten really big. And I can confirm to you that they are a freaking monopoly, because, most of the time you try to go to a website, they pretty much force you to stay on their platform. Or if they're trying to save your passcode. Now you can save that to other platforms too, but a lot of times it's also on Google. And then AT&T and all that. I don't know. I've tried Because honestly, I'm trying to, like, have other routes too. Like, for example, like I'm trying to, like, go to yahoo.com. Because Yahoo, I've had some better luck with, like, finding images for some of my videos than Google. So I tried downloading the app. I don't know, I couldn't find it, I don't know if it's there now or not. I don't know, there's been some weird stuff going on there. Like, the search engine's all messed up and this and that. And it is freaking a mess. And, yeah, there's been reports of a lot of people losing their freaking websites because, Google, again, is trying to force traffic to them and not these websites. So these websites are shutting down. It's causing a lot of problems. It is. And even freaking YouTube, on the YouTube side, there's been a lot of shit going on, too, with censorship and all that. And Google is flat out admitting that they are doing some of this stuff. And I think it's because, well, they got busted. I think they're getting busted doing this shit. They are getting busted. And that's the thing. They are like, they can't hide it anymore. And I can confirm to you that there has been a lot of censorship, especially during the election last year. Like, if you post crap about, like, Biden or something, comments were randomly disappearing. Not just mine, other people's and all that. Now, people were making some, commenting on, like, Biden's health or making fun of him and all that, which, yeah, I don't think you should make fun of somebody who is, mentally, unstable, because, yeah, let's be fair here. Biden was definitely not there. The guy was struggling to remember stuff. He was, like, we can see him declining. He was, that poor guy, like, I mean, I don't know him as a person. I mean, I think I've heard some, not great things about the guy, but I guess that'd be a lot of people. But, but I will say that he should have not been he should have got put out of office. Like, he should have been impeached. And the problem is, though, is the freaking media and social media, well, media in general, is trying to, like, push people and all that into, like, they're trying to freaking push the crap, like, making everybody hate Trump, but making Biden look like the good guy. And I'm gonna say this, Trump is not the greatest guy either. Like, Trump's got issues. Trump is, like, has done things like he, like, runs his mouth about other countries and this and that and all that. And I think he can kind of get a little stuck up when it comes to, like, like, I mean, yeah, people make fun of him. I'm not saying, like, people should be, posting, random pictures and stuff, which is say there's some weird pictures of, I've seen some naked pictures of him online and all that, it's like, crap like that, it's just weird and all that. Like, I can tell you it's freaking weird as hell, and, and all that, and, I'm not saying, like, I don't want to clarify if Trump, has, because people are trying to say that, like, this guy's a rapist. Like, people are voted for a freaking rapist and all that, and freaking, to be in that White House. And I'm like, well, first off, like, I mean, people did not really like either president, and let's be fair here, the other side was doing shit too, and they were trying to cover it up, because, like I said, censorship. And second, we don't actually know if Trump actually did this stuff or not. Yeah, he was arrested in New York. But it's ironic how they freaking arrested him right when they were, right when all that crap was, going on with elections and stuff, So there was some weird stuff going on there, and all that. And, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of ridiculous and all that. And then, like, and that's where kind of Google comes into. Google has also been censoring people, like I said. If you were, like, to question Biden's health, like, my comments were getting deleted. They're not getting deleted now, but they were, like, because, I mean, I think because now they realize people can't they can't just censor people, because people are not going to deal with it, people are not going to be dealing with this shit, and all that, people are not going to deal with it, And that's kind of the problem with, the whole censorship thing, It's just like people are fed up with it. People want the internet to go back to the way they were. Now, some cases like, Blue Sky and freaking Threads, yeah, those people are like freaking nut jobs. Like, they are nut jobs over there. Like I told you guys, I only have Threads because, of Instagram. Otherwise, I would just get rid of Threads. Threads is just freaking filled with nut jobs. And Blue Sky, same thing. Like, that's the thing. That's what's so confusing. A lot of these people, too, by the way, left X because they're talking about how X is a toxic place. But then they go over to Blue Sky and they're being toxic, jerks and all that over there. So I'm like, you guys are basically complaining about one thing and then you're like doing the exact same thing over there, so it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how the internet has, fallen with this stuff and all that. And I think they just left it because Elon Musk, was a Trump supporter and all that. He's not anymore. I don't think he is anymore. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I heard. He's not anymore. But again, who knows anymore? The internet's kind of, filled with a bunch of crap that makes no sense, but, last I checked, he's not a fan of Trump anymore, he doesn't like him anymore, but, because he voted for him and all, or not voted, because he supported him, that's why I feel like they went to Blue Sky, but I'm like, again, like, you guys are doing the same thing over there, like, you're like, if you disagree with somebody or something, you'll block their post or something, it's just ridiculous, But that's not all that's been going on, especially with Google and YouTube and all that. We also have, they've been doing this crap for a while now, but they've been trying really hard to, push the word you out of YouTube and trying to control the platform. Which, honestly, is not a very smart idea. That's a very, very stupid idea. Basically, Google is going McDonald's. They are going McDonald's. What they're trying to do with YouTube. They're going McDonald's. You're taking away everything that made YouTube so much fun and popular. Just to compete with like Netflix and all that. You're trying to take away everything. That made it great. So content creators are being censored and all that. They've been removing comments and all that, and then they also have, taking away the dislike buttons, and they're trying to push this whole kids bullshit, at us, but I'm like, you guys have YouTube Kids, you know that, right? You guys have YouTube Kids. So if it's such a problem, then why the hell, for example, Netflix, why is it that Netflix, you can go on there and they have a section for kids, and over here they don't on YouTube? What's the point? What's the point of clicking your videos and putting them on for, made for kids or made for adults if they're going to, censor you anyway? It's so stupid. And again, they're using kids, again, as an excuse to censor people. And it's people are getting fed up with it. I'm fed up with it, Not only because I watch, YouTube, but I also make videos. I make these videos here, and people are just fed up with it. And you can censor people all you want, but remember, we're giving you guys, money here. If you guys screw us over, you guys can replace us with AI. But AI is not going to replace people. That's what they're going to try to do in Hollywood as well. And that's going to bite them in the ass because Hollywood needs real people to make real stuff. I'm not saying AI can't help make some stuff, but you need people in charge to make stuff. For example, you can probably have AI, I'm not saying you should probably do this because, it's just an example, but you could have AI make, art and all, but you need somebody to look at the art, and and judge it, like you should probably still have artists, but maybe have, you can have it draw it for you. Like you have an idea for a design and have it draw it for you. But you still have to have the artist to choose, what they want for the characters and stuff. But this AI, like I said, it's getting out of hand and all that. And, but like I've said too, some of this crap has been getting out of hand before AI too. And that's what they're trying to use too. That's the thing with court and all. Because I think YouTube is going to court. I think the people that are going to court. And they are going to use the excuse that it is freaking AI, it's new technology and all that, and it's been doing this, but they've been doing this shit for years. They've been doing this for years, because we also have Kappa. Kappa, was there, that when that came in place, that destroyed a lot of channels. A lot of channels got taken down because of that. They also, freaking the copyright claims. Yeah, around that time, I think that's when I started, in 2019, I think is when it was. That's when I started noticing the copyright stuff has gotten really bad. And all that. And then, and all that. And then they got, worse with the censorship and all that. Now, I know there are people that make bad choices with videos, and there has to be some limits. But doing all of this is too much for people. And like I said, people are going to end up, boycotting, this stuff if that's going to be the case. And that's the problem. That's what Google wants. Google wants to force people to go to the platform. But it's going to bite them in the ass on the other hand because you're taking out a bunch of you're taking out a bunch of people's jobs and all that in their websites so you can basically stay dominant, and it's not going to work the way you want it to. But I think they need to just stop this now. They need to stop this now before it gets worse. I think I've noticed those some of the stuff. Now it's still not great, but some of the stuff like video wise, like some videos are, they're not going as hard on, removing comments on kids' stuff as they were, but, they're still doing it pretty bad, and, even going on, notification-wise, there was some weird stuff going on there, I don't understand why I couldn't get notified for, Zebra Gamer. Now, I've talked about him. He was a Let's Player. I really enjoyed his content, but he retired. He didn't really say why he was retiring. He never said that. He said he was going to finish uploading some videos, too, before he did it, but he didn't. He never did that, so I'm not sure what happened behind the scenes, but he retired, and, but I was never getting notified for his videos, so maybe he was just social media is getting bad, and maybe I should just, just quit while I'm ahead, Yeah, I mean, he was doing it for 15 years, and he had, I think, 500,000 subscribers, So he probably had a lot of money there, but again, he probably lost a lot of it with notifications, and I think maybe that's probably why it has nothing to do with the YouTube kids, but again, Google wants to keep all the money, And if you're not getting viewers, or they're messing with your subscriber account, then, what's the point of making videos, especially if you can't get an audience, and if they're gonna just keep all the freaking money? There's just no point of it, There's just no point, But yeah, there is definitely, like I said, there's definitely some weird crap going on, and what I'm scared about. Here's the thing: I definitely think this is going to. I think Google is probably going to lose, because like many great empires, they all fall. Eventually, all empires fall. Eventually, they don't have an audience. They can't rule, and that's kind of what Google is. Google is like the Roman Empire or something like that, it's or North Korea, or if that's kind of what even happened over there, it's hard to say, because again, people make up stuff, but from what I can hear, in North Korea, it's very bad over there, and with the citizens and all that, and, they're a king and all that over there. But I'm like, that's the thing though. You can treat your people or your audience, or I guess your workers, right? The workers, like garbage. But eventually, your empire's gonna fall. People are gonna boycott it. People are gonna put their foot down and have enough. And you can eliminate our jobs. It's like the Roman Empire, that's probably what happened there too. It's like, you have this whole empire, and then like your people refuse. Eventually, you can take out your people, like Google's taking out their empire, or taking out not their empire, taking out their audience, and their their people, who make the content and the websites. Or you can work out something, that way you can work as a civilization, and that's kind of what Google is, it's I know it's a funny comparison, but that's basically kind of what this is. They're gonna fall, they're gonna fall no matter what, they can't stop this, and they can threaten people all they want, but, threatening people won't do any good either, it's better just to work with people, because you can threaten people and replace someone with robots, but again, it won't do any good, if, you don't have an audience to help, even with the AI itself, too, because people, again, are gonna put their foot down, they're gonna have enough with it, but that's kind of the thing, but yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of weird crap going on lately, and, it's not just Google, it's, like, websites in general, and just, like, even Facebook and all, like, has gotten kind of weird with stuff. I've been noticing there hasn't been as many fake accounts on there, well, there has been some fake accounts, but, like, not as much, but yeah, but that's the thing, though, sometimes you gotta fight back in order to win stuff, I'm not saying it's great, but sometimes you have to do that, and they may try to censor you, but it ain't going to stop, the message from coming out, because, like we saw, they tried to censor it last year, and, and try to get, Kamala Harris in the freaking White House, and look, Trump won, and I don't think a lot of people liked Trump. I don't like Trump, I don't care for Trump, but I'm like, what, I wanted to vote for somebody who would get rid of the censorship and all that, and, people are tired of getting censored, some of this stuff, though, too, by the way, with Google, in YouTube, or with things in general, not just Google, but, like, Facebook and all that, it's not all been, presidential stuff either. Some of it is just them trying to control people, too, but that's, again, that's the thing, though. Like, you can only go so far, and then people are just gonna have enough. And I think that's what they're learning here. But I'm hoping they'll learn it before they collapse, because if they collapse, and if YouTube collapses, all the channels and all that could go down with them. That's the problem. Because there's so many channels, it could go down with them. But yeah, that's basically what they're becoming. I said Google's become, or not Google, YouTube's become, McDonald's, because Google turned YouTube into what it wasn't originally. YouTube was originally supposed to be made for people to have fun and, make videos and, just do whatever they want, with limitations, because obviously you can't you can't just, do exactly, like, everything you want to do, but, like, you know what I mean, like, you could make like videos like Mad Mario and all that, which, by the way, those are some funny videos, but, yeah, what Mario's saying, like, some of the crap he says in those videos, yeah, I don't think that'd be done today, but yeah, things like that, they can make that stuff, but now it's like, again, it feels like they're trying to control it more, but I think I have seen it die down a little bit, but I don't know, but like I said, they're gonna have to do something, because if they don't do something, a lot of people are gonna leave, they're gonna leave, because also, a lot of these content creators with the bigger channels, that's the people that are giving them the money, people like me that are smaller channels are not gonna give, Google money, so, having, I don't know if I could give them might be able to give them a little bit of money because I've got, half of like a little over half of 1,000 subscribers. But you got to have a certain amount before you can start making profit on your videos. And like some of these people, especially like I said, Zebra Gamer and all that, like they've been around for a long time and have made tons of videos, and they've made profit off of it, and Google got some of the share. But now that they're gone, we don't, have that anymore. But I don't know. But we'll see. We're going to see what's going to happen. And we'll see if Google kind of learns anything. But if they don't, well, I suggest having your stuff kind of get backed up in case something does happen, or have a backup plan, in case things do happen, That's why I got, Instagram and all that too, because I'm like, that way I can go over there. But yeah, and that's why I have, X too, because I want to have a backup plan too. But if I'm not getting notifications for X, I might even just quit using X. But I'm like, I don't want to be hopping all over, social media and all that. I kind of want to just, stick somewhere and stay there, if I can, but I don't really have a choice if I have to have a backup plan. But yeah, I don't know. But we'll see what happens. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and let this video go because I want to make my other video now. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.